Welcome to Manchester United News Update. Subscribe for more Manchester United news, match previews, and transfer updates. Ruben Amorim sent Viktor Gyokeres transfer message as Man United star hails Ruud van Nistelrooy. Manchester United have just waved goodbye to one former striker while speculation swirls about a potential new attacking transfer target. Ruben Amorim started work at Manchester United less than 24 hours after saying goodbye to his Sporting CP squad. Football moves fast, as Ruud van Nistelrooy found out at Carrington on Monday. He had also walked his team off the pitch a day earlier but was told his time at United was up. A flock of coaches who were under Amorim's wing at Sporting flew over from Lisbon to Manchester alongside the head coach himself, and Van Nistelrooy was subsequently told that his services were no longer required. The Dutchman went unbeaten in the 4 games he took charge of as interim boss, having initially been brought in as a supporting coach by Erik ten Hag this summer. Amorim has cut almost all ties to his predecessor and is looking to the future, which could involve a few former players. Sporting chief makes Gyokeres transfer admission. Sporting president Frederico Vanderes says he is helpless to prevent Viktor Gyokeres from leaving if a club pays out his £83 million release clause, but believes the chances of that happening in January are slim. The Swede has inevitably been linked with United after scoring 23 goals in 18 matches this season, 3 of which came against Manchester City in the Champions League. Both the player and Amorim have cooled speculation of a transfer in recent weeks. However, Sporting chief Vanderes was unable to rule out his exit. "I can't promise anything," he said. "If a club arrives and pays the release clause, if he, Gyokeres, wants to go, he will go, but I do not think this will happen in January." Gyokeres seems destined for a summer move, but there are still questions over whether he is one for United, especially given his price tag. The Portuguese league is ranked by UEFA's coefficient as only the 7th best top flight in Europe behind the Dutch and French. Outside of the big 3 in Portugal, the competition is pretty poor. United was similarly linked with Benfica's Darwin Núñez in 2022 before Liverpool snapped him up. That should come as a warning of what could unravel if he renews ties with Amorim in the Premier League. He might turn out to be a good fit, but there. I spotted what Omar Berrada did during Ruben Amorim Man United arrival, and it speaks volumes. Latest Manchester United news, with CEO Omar Berrada very quickly making his feelings clear on Ruben Amorim. Over 1 week on from confirming his appointment, Ruben Amorim has finally arrived at Manchester United, and it appears no one is more excited than CEO Omar Berrada. United's new head coach took charge of his final Sporting CP game on Sunday evening, in which his side won a thrilling 6-goal thriller against Braga with 2 last-gasp goals. Though he has not even been in the role for 24 hours, a huge decision has already been made, with interim head coach Ruud van Nistelrooy departing alongside René Haak, João ten Rouwelaar and Peter Morel following the dismissal of Erik ten Hag. The 39-year-old will now have the next 11 days at Carrington to prepare for his first game in charge away to Ipswich Town in the Premier League. Some United stars will not meet their new boss for at least 1 week, with Bruno Fernandes, Rasmus Højlund and Matthijs de Ligt among those away on international duty. Some senior stars will have remained though, and now have the chance to immediately become part of Amorim's core. Non-playing staff will also still be in and around the building, with Berrada likely just one of those that welcomed Amorim to his new home. As can be seen in the image below, the former Manchester City chief greeted him mere moments after he stepped out of the car, with both grinning from ear to ear. It is perhaps no surprise he feels that way, especially when the full context is considered. Alongside United's initial interest, Man City had been linked as they seek to find a long-term replacement for Pep Guardiola. It is therefore quite clear Berrada believes United have got quite the coup. However, that will be significantly tested over the coming months as Amorim attempts to implement his very specific and detailed tactics to a squad that, while talented enough to win an FA Cup, has underperformed for the last 18 months. RVN loves him. Man United could replace Fernandes by signing £83 million sensation. To put it lightly, this season has not been particularly enjoyable for Manchester United fans so far. Erik ten Hag led the team to their worst start in Premier League history for the 2nd campaign in a row, and while he wasn't all that popular by the end, seeing your manager sacked is never an enjoyable experience. With that said, interim manager Ruud van Nistelrooy has seemingly stabilized the ship for incoming boss Ruben Amorim, and there are now genuine reasons to be optimistic about the club's short and long-term future. Even players who were massively underperforming at the start of the season are starting to look like their old selves, such as Bruno Fernandes, although the ex-Sporting CP boss could opt to replace the Red Devils captain before the start of next season to get his reign off to a fresh start. The Bruno Fernandes question. The first thing to say is that Fernandes is an unbelievably talented footballer and, on his day, is arguably world-class. However, therein lies the problem. As many a United fan will probably attest, it's rarely been the captain's day this season. For example, the Portuguese Dynamo managed to rack up a sensational haul of 15 goals and 13 assists in 48 appearances last season, equating to an average of a goal involvement once every 1.71 games, and not a single one of those involvements came in the League Cup. In contrast, while his overall tally of 4 goals and 7 assists in 17 games this season looks impressive, it is instantly less so when you realise 2 of his goals and 2 of his assists came in League Cup matches against Barnsley and Leicester City, while another goal came against PAOK in the Europa League. Moreover, before Van Nistelrooy took charge, it wasn't unusual to come across United writers who were asking Ten Hag to take him out of the starting lineup, as he was struggling to offer much going forward and inexplicably managed to get himself sent off in back-to-back games. Lastly, on top of only starting to perform following the sacking of the former manager, the Maya-born international is now on the wrong side of 30, and with Amorim at the helm and Sir Jim Ratcliffe in the boardroom, it feels like a massive rebuilding job is required. Therefore, it would be wise of United to see what sort of money they can get for Fernandes in 2025 and use that to sign a former target to replace him, a target who looks set for a bright. Arsenal goalkeeper Karl Hein on Manchester United's radar. After a difficult start to his Manchester United career, Andre Onana has cemented his place as the undisputed number 1 at the club, restricting reserve keeper Altay Bayındır to only 3 appearances in 2 seasons. And the Turk, who has started in both Carabao Cup games this season, wants more minutes and has been linked with a return to Turkey. And that could force the club into action, and as per Fishadges, the club are eyeing Arsenal's Karl Hein to strengthen the goalkeeping department. The Estonian is currently on loan at La Liga side Real Valladolid and has started in all of their league games, impressing with his shot-stopping ability. Arsenal youth star on United's radar. Apart from the Red Devils, Arsenal's North London rivals Tottenham Hotspur are also looking at the 22-year-old as their reserve keeper. The report mentions the Gunners are open to his sale but want €20 minus 25 million for his signature. Whether the duo shell out that kind of money for a backup keeper remains to be seen. La Liga has a new protagonist, as Manchester United and Tottenham have entered the market to sign a new goalkeeper who is making a big impression in the Spanish league. Karl Hein, 22, arrived in Spain as a long-term project to gain experience and maturity in a competitive environment. Currently playing for Arsenal FC, he is on loan at Real Valladolid CF. The Estonian goalkeeper has quickly adapted to the pace of La Liga, showing great reflexes and an excellent ability to react, key elements that have put him on the radar of top-level clubs. Hein's future. Manchester United, in the midst of a rebuilding process, are reportedly looking for a new goalkeeper to compete with the current first-choice goalkeeper, while Tottenham are also considering signing Karl Hein as part of their long-term project. His market value currently stands at €3 million according to Transfermarkt, and he recently signed a new contract extension which clearly shows that Arsenal still feel he could be valuable. It must be remembered that Hein is a full Estonia international and has made 1 appearance for the Arsenal senior team a couple of seasons ago. Should he make the move, it will be another recent instance of an Arsenal youth product making a move to Manchester. United recently snapped up Chido Obi Martin and another goalie in Hubert Grachik from the London side. Thanks for watching.